Okay, so Spark Notes. This is a YouTube drama that happened over the Christmas break. I listened to a podcast called the H3 Podcast. I say listen, I watch it on YouTube, and sometimes I only listen, but a lot of the time I'm watching it. They are a channel that, if you're not aware of them, they used to be YouTubers on their own channel, and then they started a podcast. Now that podcast's kind of their main thing. I really like their podcast. They basically have, it's Ethan and sometimes Ela Klein, and then they have like a crew of people who all have different jobs. Like some people do research, some people do the graphics, some people do the editing of the social clips, and there's like a main producer who does the live streaming stuff. And then, but they all show up on the live stream. So they all have microphones and cameras, and they all like chime in on the live stream. So I really like that group thing. That I think that's what really attracts me to it. Is like, it's like a group of friends chatting for 3 hours, and I really like that. It sort of makes me feel like I'm one of their friends. And so anyway, so this channel will have conversations and things that kind of go over a long period of time. So they basically stream almost every day. And so there will naturally be like running jokes. Like one of the running jokes about the H3 podcast is how hard it is for new people to get into the H3 podcast because of all the running jokes. So there was a running joke at one point, and there has been a big out of fucking nowhere blow up about it over Christmas. And the first thing that happened was, if you can see it there, which I don't think you can because it's too zoomed out for fuck's sake. Ooh-wee. Okay, and that is useless. Okay, so maybe you can see that a little better, but I'll read it out to you. It's Jake Dolittle is a commentary YouTuber that I used to actually watch. And I didn't really stop watching him for any particular reason. I just, with commentary YouTubers, if the subject isn't interesting, then I don't click it. You know what I mean? Like, there's very few commentary YouTubers that I watch more for the YouTuber than for the commentary, if that makes sense. So there would be a few. Drew Gooden would probably be one. Like, I'd watch Drew Gooden for Drew. And so it doesn't really matter what he's commenting on. Funky Frogbait actually is another one. I like her commentary, but I'll watch most of her videos even if I'm not really that interested in the topic, because I like the way that she talks about stuff. But anyway, I just haven't clicked on a Jake Dolittle video in a while. And he put up this post on his YouTube community tab, which was, a YouTuber with millions of followers pretended to have a chronic illness, profited off it, then said they made it all up. I think the next part of that is new video coming soon. Yeah, there you go. New video coming soon. Now, I'm pretty sure the Twitter version said similar wording, but it said a YouTuber million followers profit of it, then admitted they made it all up. I'm pretty sure I saw the word admitted on one of these posts. And then that was like 3 weeks ago, right? So then there was loads of backlash at the time because people were like, who's this about? And then he put a picture of... it was Jake Dolittle Instagram. He put a picture of Ethan Klein on his Instagram, and then people were like, wait, this is who it's about? Are you serious? Oh, he's deleted it. Right. Never mind. Well, he put a clip of Ethan Klein from a members live saying I might have lupus or something, or ChatGPT thinks I don't have lupus, or whatever the fucking comment was. He put that clip up and he was like, video coming soon, and people were like, really, this is who it's about? So for your context, Ethan having lupus kind of became like one of those running inside jokes I talked about on the show. Basically, it started out because they live stream for like 2-3 hours almost every day. Ethan will show up like sick, like all this stuff. He showed up and he had rashes like under his eyes, and he couldn't figure out what the rash was coming from. And he'd gotten these random rashes over the last year as well, randomly, and then they'd gone away. And then they'd be talked about it every time. Oh, I'm trying this cream, I'm trying that cream. There was one time on stream where they were live and they bought him some fucking cream that you were not meant to put on your face. I think it was for your arse. And like, I can't 100% promise you, but I'm pretty sure it was for your arse. And he put it on his face, and it was like on the thing, it was like, don't put it on your face, and it made his rash so much worse. So this has been like, his health thing has been an ongoing conversation and everything else. Have my chat all frozen, or are you just listening to me? So anyway, so he gets this rash on his face. It's one of these other unexplained rashes. He tells us that he's been tested in the doctors. I think at some point during this conversation as well, he talked about swapping insurance companies and changing doctors and actually being taken serious. Louise, you're taking all in. Thanks so much. Okay, just to be sure. I was like, am I still live? Preparation 83. Stop it, Gonzo. So he said that he was, and like, I might not have the timeline in this exactly right, because bear in mind, they put out 3 hours of content a day, okay? And like, I thought about going through all these clips and find them, and then I was like, fuck it, like, I actually have a life. So, he gets the rashes, he goes in to like get tested, and he updates us regularly throughout the different live streams at different points. He's like, health update, the same way his wife Ela does pregnancy updates, like randomly enough. On the different podcasts, he does like a health update. I just got it tested for blah blah whatever. And so at some point he shares that he's, among the things that he's being tested for, he's being tested for lupus. And so based off the House joke, you know, the TV show House, where he's like, it's never lupus, the lupus thing becomes something they mention regularly. And so every time he gets a new symptom, he fucking puts it into ChatGPT, which is another inside joke. You see, this is how it's so... The thing about it is that Jake Dolittle says he's a H3 fan. And that's important. I'm going to come back to that. But he should know that all of these inside jokes, like, it's not like an outsider looking in, not realizing that all these things are inside jokes. So there's the lupus thing is an inside joke. But also the fact that Ethan checks ChatGPT all the time is an inside joke, because he keeps asking ChatGPT things, and the crew always scoff at him and like for doing that and for trusting ChatGPT, and like none of them believe in it like he does, and that's a running joke. So every time he gets a new symptom, he goes to ChatGPT on the stream and he asks, could this be? And the ChatGPT says like, it could be X and X or lupus. And so it just becomes this thing. He never said he had lupus. He said it was one of the things that the doctor was investigating him for. He asked ChatGPT a couple of times whether or not this symptom was a symptom of lupus or what this symptom could lead to, and ChatGPT said lupus. And like at some point he ruled out lupus. He was like, no, it's not lupus. But like there was other times where ChatGPT said it could be cancer. So I don't know why Jake has taken offense to the lupus thing. And that's what's happened. Jake is accusing Ethan of pretending to have lupus, of claiming to have lupus. And then the really bad thing is that he's accusing Ethan of profiting off lupus. He's accusing Ethan of asking people to donate or taking donations purposely for lupus when he didn't have it. And the reason that he thinks that is because he was watching live streams where Ethan talked about his symptoms or where his test results were at, or he was asking fucking ChatGPT did he have lupus, and people were donating fucking sarcastically to like Ethan's lupus fund. And that again is another inside joke that comes from people were donating to individual crew members, and then Ethan was like, stop doing this because it's actually really annoying for me to have to like figure out how much money to go to each crew member, and like YouTube takes 50% of it anyway, or 70% of it, or YouTube takes 30% of it, is it? And you get 70. Super chats might be 50-50. I'm not sure. Anyway, and so then at one point on the show, Sam, one of the crew members, mentioned that she wanted to buy a Jeep, and all of the chat started to donate to Sam's Jeep fund as a joke, and it actually like fully got out of hand, and I think they donated a couple of $1,000 to her Jeep fund, which Ethan actually did siphon out and give to her from that episode. And she went off and she didn't manage to buy a Jeep with it, but she managed to buy some kind of car with it. And so the Lupus fund thing is a throwback joke reference to Sam's Jeep fund, which he's asked people not to do that anymore. He said, stop doing that. Like, I'm not going to split out the money like that anymore. Like, they have bonus systems. They run specific merch campaigns where crews get all the money. Like, he's like, I'm not doing this anymore because it's way too, Dan has to go in and like download all the logs and then work out the amounts of like, he's like, it's too finicky. And so that's a throwback joke. The Lupus fund is and also he never asked people to donate. He never said, I have Lupus donate to me. Like, people were jokingly donating saying, Lupus fund. And so you can't police what people say in their donations. Like, you can't. It's not possible. And then his third accusation then is that he's making it all up. He goes, Ethan admitted to making it all up. Ethan never admitted to making anything up because he never made anything up. Like, he told us at the start what he was being investigated for. He kept us up to date the whole way through about what he was being investigated for. And then he told us, okay, they've ruled out Lupus. I actually don't even know if they have ruled out Lupus. He definitely said something like, it's probably not Lupus. Like, but I actually don't know if they've technically ruled it out or if... I just remember at one point him saying something like, being like, it's not Lupus. Like, definitively not Lupus. But I don't know whether he was saying like, it probably isn't or whatever. Sorry guys on Twitch, you're missing the story because of an ad. Apologies. Subscribe to beat the ads. If you've Prime, you can subscribe for free. So those are all of his accusations, and it's a bit bananas. I'm just catching up here with the chats. Freezy, if you're going to attempt to be a brunette, perhaps you should wear those popular dark brown contacts. I'm not attempting to be a brunette. This is my natural hair colour. I've grown it out. I'm a fucking auburn. Excuse you. And these are my natural eyes. So I'm all right with my blue eyes. Thank you very much. Where's Waldo? Yes. So you're saying it's a simple misunderstanding, but the thing is that Jake has claimed to be a fan of the show. He's claimed to watch all of the things. And the reason that that's important is because he shouldn't be misunderstanding this if he's a fan of the show. And there's proof that he actually was on the show before. So they're in the subreddit, they showed a clip of where, and he's mentioned this in his video. His video was originally due to come out soon. He said soon, and then didn't post it for like 2.5 weeks after he put up that post. And I think it's because he was hastily re-editing or adding in to the video to reference the things he was called out for in the H3 subreddit. So the things he was called out for after that post in the H3 subreddit were the fact that he was on the show before as a call-in, and he asked Ethan for a job. And he said, please, can I send through my CV and can you have a look at it? Like, I'll do anything. And Ethan was like, yeah, sure, send it through. But Ethan hasn't hired since the last crew member came in before that call. So Ethan wasn't hiring for the H3 podcast. So people were like, is Jake just salty that he didn't get a job at the H3 podcast after asking for one? Then in that call, he said he was a big fan. He said he watched all of the shows. He said he used to be a fan when he was making this video. So like, if you were a fan at the time of these jokes, you'd know they were fucking jokes. No? Like, I was watching, for example, a H3 compilation video over the Christmas break. And at one point they talked about somebody, I can't remember the name. And Dan, the producer goes, they died. And Ethan goes, oh, they're dead. Fucking idiot. What a loser. To be fucking dead or whatever. And it's like, that's like that's obviously a joke. This stuff was obviously a joke as well. Like, you could take that and be like, Ethan Klein, like, I could be serious and make a serious video being like, Ethan Klein made fun of dead people. How does he think that anyone who's ever had someone die feels about that? How does he think all the dead people in the world feel about being slagged off for being dead? Like, thank you for chatting and donating. Yes, so G Clough over on Twitch says in the guy's defense, people are talking about it now. So this is a big part of it, because people pointed out that this is the video, Ethan Klein, harmful or hypochondriac, right? And now, to be fair, 1 month ago he posted a video crashing a Kids Bop concert with Drew Gooden, and he got 289,000 views. So that's a lot of views, and that's a good collaboration. Drew Gooden has like over 1 million subscribers. No, it might be like 2 or 3. So he's huge. So that's a really good video. Like, that's a really good view ratio. But if you look at like his previous videos, he's got 282,000 subscribers, and he's getting 20,000 views per video. Like, I actually think 92 is really good. 100k is really good. But some people were like, he obviously just needs views. So this was an easy way to get views. I think he might be salty about not getting a job. But that is well and truly out the window now. And like, listen, this is a mistake that I made as a young YouTuber before I knew how to behave online, where I would call people out online because I was like, I'm in the right and I am so right in this one. And even if you're right, you fuck yourself for a long time. Like, because people don't want to go, oh my God, so 3 people have donated. I missed that. 3 people have donated on YouTube and said it's for my Lupus fund. Jake Dolittle, I would just like to make a disclaimer here that I have not got lupus and I have not solicited any donations for a Lupus fund. Okay? Before he makes a fucking video on me. Oh. The joke is that dark brown contacts are not popular except in movie costumes. Okay, I don't get it. But thank you for donating, guys. But I do not have lupus, just before Jake Dolittle makes a video on me. And Mark Ellis, thank you for your 10th super chat on a live stream. Oh, the joke was worth it, you're right. Hello, LC. Welcome, first time chat. We are talking about YouTube drama. So, this is the video here. Ethan Klein, harmful or hypochondriac. So we're going to kind of go through, I'll go through the main points of it. But what I think is weird is that this video is a fundraiser for his non-profit, which is a charity, right? For Never Stop is a charity for the diagnosed, the misdiagnosed, and everything in between. Yet he slags off or criticizes, or whatever you want to say it, Ethan Klein for misdiagnosing himself. He's like, you don't have lupus, and you said you might have lupus. So, like, hang on. Diagnosed, misdiagnosed, and everything in between, does that not cover someone who's getting investigated for different things or who may have been misdiagnosed and stuff? No? Like, people have pointed that out. It's like a charity for the diagnosed, the misdiagnosed, and everything in between, except Ethan Klein. So the great Claire Lupus scam of 2024. No. And so I think it's really weird that this video calling someone out is being used to promote his fundraiser, because that sort of, I don't know, it just doesn't sit right with me. That he mentions it in the video as well. Oh, excuse me. And it's weird to me, to be honest. Oh my God, sorry. I just got so thirsty there for a second. Saladin hasn't redeemed hydrate in a while, so I forgot. Thank you, Richard Leatherman. That one's not for lupus. That one's just for Happy New Year. Okay. So I don't think this is going to work. Sort of works, but not really in Vertigo. But anyway. So can you hear that actually? Hang on, let me fix the audio so you can hear it, because I'm getting good at this, sort of. Do I have my earphones actually? Because I don't want you to hear it back through the mic. I think it'll be fine. So then I go to this one, don't I? And I go, let me turn it down, and I go to this one. You can hear that now? Can you hear that? Now she sees why some streamers have 4 displays. Yeah, you're not kidding. Yes, Elsie, I'm streaming on YouTube as well. You're allowed to do it now, but you can't mix the chat, which is really fucking annoying. But sure, listen, sure, look, I'll take what I can get. I think I'm going to private them on YouTube after the stream is over, and then maybe transition them to the Clizzer Live channel. I haven't figured that out yet. But anyway, they'll be live on Twitch for replay. Okay. So that one I didn't know. He also says that one of the crew members reached out to him to call him crazy, to say he was insane for the way that he had interpreted this, which I agree with. Oh, you can't hear it. Okay, it's telling me... Oh, sorry. It's telling me on the... on my little mixer here that the sound is coming in. So let me... Oh, here we go. There we go. There we go.
Before this video starts, I would like to preface it with a few things.
That you can hear, I think.
I was a huge fan of the H3 podcast. When I was at my sickest, the podcast was always something that I could watch to make me feel less alone. I even remember saving up money from my first job ever to buy multiple Teddy Fresh items. More recently, I was on the podcast speaking to Ethan about an unrelated subject. I left VidCon to attend their most recent live show, and I am...
The podcast where he begged for a job.
Also friendly with a few of their crew members, but I saw a few...
And he's also accused one of the crew members of, well, he hasn't named them, of messaging him and saying that they were insane, and for the way that he's taking this, which I totally agree with. As in, I agree with them texting him that.
Ethan Klein's lupus journey. And as someone who's been sick his entire life, I felt like I needed to make this video. Not only have I dealt with chronic illness, but I run a nonprofit where I support people...
So... This bit is boring, no offense, but basically, the first thing he has the clip here where it starts, and then he like gives out about Ethan misdiagnosing himself.
This morning, what happened this morning?
I got some because I did a bunch. I had weird blood values when I did I just did the whole blood work to test my cholesterol and stuff.
Okay, so the clips in the H3 podcast part are kind of hard to hear. But basically, this is one of the clips where he's saying I got my bloods done and I had weird values and I looked it up online.
My white blood cells and platelet counts were high. So my doctor was like...
Also, notice there's a lot of editing in this clip. There's a lot of jump cuts. This is the live show. They don't do jump cuts in the live show.
It's probably nothing, but I can send you to a hematologist.
Just saying.
Well, I wasn't super worried, but then I went to the hematologist.
Also, before anyone asks, he has Tourette's.
And we did a whole bunch of tests.
If you're not fans of it, you probably wouldn't
earlier
know
this
that.
week, and they started coming in.
But the editing is so poor that like it's actually jump cuts. That's crazy.
So like here's one.
So what exactly, like he edited out a word there, did he? That looked like a really big jump cut.
Craictose. A lot of this stuff has to do with like leukemia.
Saying that an elevated tryptase relates to leukemia is like saying that sneezing relates to sinus cancer. Ethan?
So this is what fucked me off about this video, right? So he's like, you're getting mad at him for saying that this elevated thing is related to lupus or whatever, and you're going, well, that's like saying like, it's just so fucking stupid. It's just like you're getting mad at him for not knowing what he's talking about. That's essentially what it's like. How fucking dare you go on your platform where you create 3 hours of content a day and ever fucking speak about something that you don't know inside out. You bastard. That's essentially what he's saying there. And like he goes on to complain about it more because like when Ethan looks it up on ChatGPT, he complains. When Ethan brings in his blood results and reads them out and mispronounces them all, he gives out and he's like, he can't even pronounce the fucking thing. But if you actually like watch this, Ethan Klein mispronouncing. It's actually a search result already. And there are, look how many videos. Ethan Klein mispronouncing everything for 10 minutes straight. Ethan Klein mispronouncing everything for 7 minutes. Ethan Klein mispronouncing words for 11 minutes. Ethan Klein struggling to speak for 9 minutes straight. Ethan Klein mispronouncing everything for another 7 minutes. He mispronounces everything. Again, it's one of the running jokes on the podcast that he always fucking mispronounces things. And then Mr. fucking Superfan over here is like, how dare he mispronounce this? He doesn't even know what he's talking about. He can't even pronounce it. It's just ludicrous. And the thing is, I'll be totally fucking honest with you. I didn't finish watching this video because I actually just couldn't stand it. I read all of the discourse about it and people summed it up for me, but I just couldn't. So we're going to skim through it and we're going to watch the bits I haven't watched yet.
Exclamation mark just means abnormal, but 2 exclamation marks means critical. Or don't look too much into it. Wait for the doctor, please. And I'm a nurse, and the context of your overall health is so important to understanding labs. I know it's hard. Try to be patient.
Oh, this was actually one of the points that he made. So he made the point that Gonzo, sorry, I'm just actually going to answer a couple of questions here because this is important. Gonzo, is mispronouncing a problem that comes with Tourette's? No, that's just an Ethan Klein problem. Dan, I'm very confused why this is a drama fest because chat chose to donate. Yeah, it's this dude took a joke that was said on a podcast and took offense to it, and then tried to make out that Ethan asked for money, or like that he got away with like scamming people because they really did think he had lupus when they didn't. So it's just yeah, someone needs to get a life, said Eric. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That actually sums it up. But yeah, so he complained, right, that Ethan was soliciting chat and taking donations because he had lupus, right? Which is not what happened at all. But then he also complained that Ethan was taking ChatGPT's advice and that he was talking about things that he didn't know about. And then in this part of the video, he starts saying some of his super chats actually had some really good advice that he then ignored. I'm sorry. So you want him to not read Wikipedia, not read ChatGPT, not Google things, not take any of the fucking advice from those sources, but you want him to take advice from super chats? Are you having a fucking laugh? Like, I'm a nurse. I mean, she could be a nurse. She also could not be a nurse. Like, I could donate and say I'm a nurse. And then I could be like, you know what you should do? Run straight into a wall. Because that, like, if it hurts, you've got lupus. I'm a nurse. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like he's just jumping through hoops to find things to criticize. Perfect example, Dan, thank you, is that people just donated to me for my Lupus fund as a joke. Like, it's so annoying. So annoying.
And trust that your MD will evaluate the full picture. Sometimes things will be elevated at baseline. Some of these donations were even from people struggling with lupus or other illnesses, telling Ethan not to worry about his labs. Sorry, I just wanted to jump in here for a little bit because people online are saying that nobody with lupus or chronic illness actually donated to Ethan thinking that he was actually sick. I wanted to read all of them. I went through thousands of donations over the 2 to 3 months that Ethan was doing this.
This is just a portion of them. I recorded myself reading all of the donations from people who are chronically ill, and then it turned out to be like 8 minutes long, so here's a spreadsheet.
$20 on June 16th. I had cancer, dude. Sucked, but the science is so advanced these days, and if you catch it early, chef's kiss. $10 June 19th. I have esophilic esophagitis and acid reflux. It is pretty consistent with your coughing up. I would get an upper endoscopy, and if you can, get a sleep study. $5 July 25th. I just found out I have stage 3 kidney disease. Chronic illness is tough. $10 July 26th. Took 5 years to get a lupus diagnosis at 20 years old last year. Such a long battle. Finding a great
I don't really understand the point of reading this.
To you. $10 August 16th. When I was diagnosed with
Gotta
cancer,
be honest.
I had an ultrasound result that was sent to me with no context or doctor note that basically said it was probably cancer. I also
Okay, we get it. Like, I don't get it. Come on.
got the results before my providers. If I were Ethan, I would feel terrible for receiving donations from people who have a confirmed diagnosis of something I don't. But he can
I see. Okay. So, right. Okay. So, he's saying that Ethan got money from lupus people who had lupus, excuse me, and he should feel bad because people with lupus donated to him, or people with cancer donated to him, and he should feel bad because he didn't have either of those things. That's a totally normal take. Yeah. Has this person ever spent any time in Twitch or in a live stream? Apparently he's a big fan of the podcast, watches the podcast the whole time, and should fucking know, like, that these are fucking jokes.
Fucking life.
Mm-hmm. Thankfully, we have good health insurance. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes. And, well, hopefully you guys do too. Otherwise, then I guess you're just going to have to fucking die broke and without doctors.
Also, that's a joke. Just like in case Jake thinks that Ethan actually wants his crew to die. That was a joke. He was saying that people who don't have health insurance might die because they can't get access to doctors. But that, he's not saying he hopes happens. God damn it.
Jesus.
What are you saying, man? Ethan said this after already hearing about a fan's boyfriend
I was joking. I did not think he was going to take offense to that. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh my God. How much for that adorable bunny in the background? What bunny? Oh, is it this? That's a unicorn. Wow, I was joking. I didn't think he was actually going to take that fucking joke serious. Christ. Eric donated for Claire's salty YouTuber recovery fund. Thank you, Eric. Oh, I have lost my alerts here now. Let me see, where am I? Oh no, they're there. There we go. Salty YouTuber recovery fund. Brilliant. Okay.
magically passing after receiving a lupus diagnosis. This is not the only time he says something about how having money gives you more resources for complicated health problems.
That's true, though. This is not the only time he says that having money... Hang on, I'm gonna... Ah! It's gonna come out while the ad is on.
Just one boys.
this is not the only time that he said that having money gives you more resources when you're sick. Like, is he wrong? Is he wrong? No. Ooh, I accidentally muted
When
it.
people accuse him of being in a better health situation if he has money.
You're rich, you'll be fine. Is that true? Is that it?
Now we move on to the next episode, talking about how they have cancer and makes it about himself.
Is that true?
Hang on. I missed something more in
Resources
there.
for complicated health problems, but later he takes offense when people accuse him of being
Takes
in a better
offense.
health situation if he has money.
You're rich, you'll be fine. Is that true? Is that it?
Now we move on to
Where was the offense? Because I didn't see it. Depends if you're on a desert island with no tech, money won't help. I mean, money, you're right, money only helps so far. Like, I mean, you know, Steve Jobs. Grim Reaper gets you in the end. But he's also not wrong, Gonzo, correct. Like, the fucking healthcare in America especially is pretty booked. Are you helping his algorithms by clicking on his channel and sharing and watching? Well, I'm not sharing it. And yeah, probably. I've given him a view. But fuck it. Okay.
to the next episode where I'm not kidding you. He reads a fan's Reddit post talking about how they have cancer and makes it about himself.
I'm not kidding you.
I'll post on the subreddit, and I just want to give a shout out real quick at the top to a fan who was just diagnosed with cancer.
What's the fucking editing? Why is he editing out every single breath?
You know, I gotta, my heart goes out. It says, so I've been watching H3 all my life.
Diagnosed with cancer, LOL, is the...
Which, like, sorry, I'm laughing because diagnosed with cancer,
vibe,
LOL,
though.
like,
Like,
it's a
I
great
get it.
title.
That's kind of how I felt on Monday.
Is that how you felt Monday? Because as I remember it, you were diagnosed with nothing new. The only thing the doctor actually acknowledged was a prior diagnosis Ethan has had for a while.
He says, I don't think this is a new and separate problem than the
That's funny. The graphics
one
guy
we
put him
discussed.
into
That's
that.
kind of how I felt on Monday.
Right.
And I haven't heard back from my hematologist, so...
I feel like that's probably...
Well, that's obviously a callback to when he said he looked it up in ChatGPT and ChatGPT said he might have cancer. Oh, stop it.
good news.
He's still waiting, I guess, on some test results that haven't come in.
Okay. Gonna say if it's really bad, they'll like kind of be in a hurry to tell you, right?
Yeah, but he's still waiting. By the way, this person has cancer, and I'm making it all about me.
That's what he said. Like, he acknowledged he was doing that.
Agree. Moving past this, apparently Ethan...
But so where's the offense? Like, also, can I just point out the fact that, and this is not technically relevant to this discussion, but I do think it's important context, that Ethan has paid for some of his fans' medical bills. There was a period where he was like, submit your medical bills and I'll pay them off, or I'll pay like up to this much money towards them. And he was doing that for people. So it's like, and he definitely made less off his lupus fund than he did paying out people's fucking health things. Dan, I feel a little bad for the guy because I get the feeling he's a hypochondriac. Oh, absolutely. Like, Ethan is a hypochondriac. But like, Jake is trying to paint him as a bad person or someone who's actively trying to mislead when he definitely isn't. He just gets fucking like rashes and has really bad bowel movements, and I know this because I listen to the history podcast all the time, and he clogs the toilet all the time. And then, yeah, it's probably a little bit of a hypochondriac, but like also might have something going on, because there was a big whole thing of him having green pesto shits. Sometimes as I talk about the history podcast so loud, I'm like, this is really hard to explain. being a
Then
fan
asked
of this
one of his
podcast
criminals to ask their
is
family
really hard to
member who's in
explain.
the medical field what they thought about his lab results, and this was their response.
Did your family member get back to you?
Yeah, he did, but
he mentioned my titter?
like it because
Notice how she says you're not going to like his answer? Could it be that she knows that Ethan has his mind set on a lupus diagnosis and this
Could it be that you just fucking read into everything?
medical professional doesn't support that claim?
Go
I'll
ahead.
just send you the screenshots.
It's not good, is it?
It's not good or bad. He said it's
Lena just framed it very scary, but no, it's not.
no. Oh, because I said you're not gonna like it. He said it's basically inconclusive.
I think that's fair enough. Like, I wouldn't like... So he's asked her, she's one of the crew members, he's asked her to ask her, like, doctor relative what he thinks. And he gave him the blood results. And then the doctor relative said, basically, I don't know. And she said, inconclusive. She said, you're not going to like the answer. Because why would you like the fucking answer of inconclusive? Like, because he's looking for a fucking answer. Like, Jesus Christ. And he's like, I think he didn't like the answer because he wanted it to be lupus. I think you are just clutching at straws, my friend. As someone who thought they were just tired from work and ended up having cancer, holy shit. Stress about not feeling well shouldn't get called out like this. That was another thing. It was like a lot of people pointed out the fact that like anxiety, like health anxiety is like a real thing. And like it's quite clear that there was at least a period of time where Ethan was genuinely worried and he was sharing it with his audience, but he was worried about what it could be. And I just don't think that... I think that you should be allowed to share that stuff if you want to share that stuff. And I think that it's up to you. And then I also think that if you want to deal with that anxiety or that whatever by joking about it, you should also be allowed to do that. And I think that everyone should have a bit of cop on and understand that it's jokes, you know? But yes, JC Silk, I also agree. I hope you are better. I hope you are better or are getting better. And I totally agree with you. Anxiety causes a lot of health issues and it can feed the feelings of something wrong and then it snowballs. Yeah, big time. But Jake has no fucking sympathy for that.
It depends heavily on the clinical context. A lot of people have positive ANAs and are perfectly normal, and some providers don't even order them because there are so many false positives. And
what about the titter?
What about the titter? The ANA test that Ethan received is the titter. The titer part of Anna titter that Ethan has been talking about literally just measures the presence and amount of antibodies in the blood. This would be like if a doctor said Ethan was 5'6" and Ethan questioned the doctor's tool of measurement.
But anyway, the point is, I'm going to read it because I want to send love to this person. I've been watching H3 all my life and found this channel to actually lift me out of many depressive episodes. That being said, and I don't even know why I'm wasting my little life. Come on. I have left on Reddit to post my feelings. It didn't take you that long to write this.
Surprised you didn't get offended at that.
Right.
That's another inside joke.
Anyways,
every time Ethan makes a joke that's not funny, they play the crickets.
Typing words as I'm thinking, cancer sucks. My grandma, then my mom, and now me are going to probably die from it. And honestly, it's funny hearing jokes about it. See? And it takes away from the everyday nature of think about dying. God, I love you, H3 fam. No homo.
No homo.
And I hope the podcast...
That's another running joke. No
I
homo.
hope the podcast lives on for many years after I'm gone. Well, I don't know what your situation is, but we love you. And if there's a chance to beat it, I hope you do.
The person who posted on Reddit said, they'll most likely die. And Ethan says, I hope you beat it, which I find so funny because Ethan is the exact type of person to get mad at someone for telling him, I'm sure you're fine. Oh.
I'm sure you're fine. But
why? You're not sure of that.
I'm sure. I know it.
What do you mean you're sure? I don't like when people say that.
I'm sure.
Why are you sure? What gives you the right to tell me that?
In the next episode of
that person said it was funny to hear jokes about it. I like how he just ignored that completely because the whole second half of this video is where he interviews other people with lupus that said they were offended by the fact that Ethan was joking about it. And so he's completely ignored the fact that cancer patient said it's funny to hear jokes about cancer. And he's jumped to getting mad or criticizing Ethan because Ethan replied to the comment, I'm probably going to die from it. He replied, I hope you beat it. What the fuck is he supposed to say? Just out of curiosity. Like, what else? There's nothing else that I would say. I'd be like, well, I hope that you do beat it. Like, what the fuck? What else are you, like, what? Gobsmacked. I'm gobsmacked. Mark Ellis commented, I suffer from Homo sapiens lycanthropus, and if anyone wants to donate for my recovery from being a werewolf, feel free to do so. Oh, stop it. I can't laugh at these jokes, or I'll be the next subject of the video. Hello, Clay Reynolds, and thank you for following Andy's Acceptable Ankles. What a great username. Okay.
Of his members only podcast, Ethan gives us a dramatic telling of what's going on.
All right, here's what's going on. So I'm going in on Tuesday for a blood test follow-up, and I'm being...
Just as an FYI, I personally don't like the members' live streams. I'm not a member, so I can't see them anyway, but like sometimes they get clipped and put on YouTube. I don't really keep up with them, because I like the whole crew element. I like the running jokes. I like when the crew play sound bites and when they push back on them and they, slag them off for using ChatGPT and stuff. So the members' live streams are can be more, I guess, serious. I just thought that was important context.
Referred to a rheumatologist, which, if you don't know, is a doctor that specializes in autoimmune disease. So it seems, I don't think it's cancer, but I think there's a significant possibility that I have an autoimmune disease. And even more possible, it seems that it might be lupus.
No, Ethan, that's not how that works.
So they do think he has an autoimmune disease, and his mum has an autoimmune disease, and that's why they think he could potentially have an autoimmune disease. And she doesn't have lupus, just for the record. It's something else, I can't remember, but they're also investigating him for the autoimmune disease that she has. But he also has something else. Oh yeah, at some point in this video, Jake, I think he calls out Ethan because Ethan said something like, celiacs just have to avoid wheat, right? And then Jake calls him out for like undermining or like playing down celiac disease. But like his ma has celiac disease. Like he was just asking a question. Like, is being ignorant a crime now? Do you know what I mean? Chat, we need to start a fund for Claire's dishwasher phobia. Symptoms include avoiding loading the dishwasher properly and forgetting to bring your partner tea. Listen, I actually am way better at the dishwasher these days than he is. And just because I don't brag about it in a video, you don't know about it, excuse me. But I'm actually way better than Alex at the minute at doing the dishwasher, because we agreed that wiping down the counters was part of the dishwasher turn, and Alex hasn't done it in a long time. And I was slagging him the other day. He was like, Claire, now taking the glass bottles out to the glass bin is part of the dishwasher turn. So I'm telling you now so you know for future, and you have to actually do it. And I was like, oh yeah, and are you going to wipe the counters when you are doing the dishwasher turn, or is that just not part of it anymore? And I got him so good. It was so good. Andy's Acceptable Angles. Love the H3 coverage. Just saw your live stream on YouTube, but then you saw you mentioned you're on Twitch. Yes! Feel free to come over to Twitch, because happy for everyone who wants to watch on YouTube who prefers YouTube. But if you prefer Twitch, come over to Twitch, because on Twitch we can gift memberships. You can gift a membership on my website to people in the chat. You can buy merch and do a merch giveaway gifted in the chat on Twitch. There's loads of stuff we can do here on Twitch. Okay.
As you were referred to a doctor doesn't mean that you're diagnosed with something in the field that they specialize in. Also, Ethan said it's even more possible that he has lupus, but from what he shared, that information has not come from a medical professional, only ChatGPT.
God, this is boring. This is so hard to fucking watch. So then he's on and on about this, right? He talks about the claims. And he references every single joke that is made about lupus as a claim. Like, this is definitely a joke here. Hang on. There's a clip here where they were at the Streamy Awards and there's a joke made and it's 100% a joke. Hang on.
He was on the red carpet. He had a lupus bonding with one of the girls there.
You fiend! You can't do that.
Well, I said I might. She said,
And like, the crew are slagging him. There's a,
what's the problem you're dealing with right now? I don't know. I was going to say, my dog's dying. I wasn't going to say that.
Stolen valor.
Baker.
What's your problem?
I have lupus. I think I have lupus. I blame everything on lupus. Lupus, queen. Yeah, that's what's happening. Yeah.
Now, some people outside.
I mean, that was edited down as well. But like, he did say, I think I have lupus. It's not like he said I have lupus, then he corrected himself and said, I think I have lupus.
The chronic illness community may be wondering why any of this matters. Here's a clip to show you why.
Look at this, you guys, from the subreddit. You guys are so out of control. This person went, today I found out my boss has lupus and I laughed in her face. I had literally never heard of it before the H3 episode and it was such a funny bit to me when she told me she was upset. Yo, y'all gotta stop. You can't let the show affect you out there in the real life. You can't laugh in someone's face when they tell you have lupus. I was never telling you guys as a joke. Lupus is a very serious problem, you guys. It's a very serious condition. Frankly.
What's the issue with that? Like, he's saying don't laugh at people who have lupus. It is actually serious. Sweet Jesus.
Y'all shouldn't have been laughing at me. I might still have lupus.
It was such a funny.
Excuse me. Dan, I'm having to restrain myself from continuing the lupus joke. Andy, thank you for subscribing with Prime Gaming. If you're on Twitch and you can subscribe with Prime Gaming, you can subscribe for free. I do have less technical problems at Twitch, so thank you for pointing that out. I'm just more used to it. Okay, I'm bored of this. I think I want to go to the subreddit, and this is probably dodgy, scrolling the subreddit. But there was a post that summarized a lot of the points that he made that wouldn't be as boring to read as the video is to watch. Oh, that's fucking so cool. Yeah, I should have had this ready. Sure, listen, sure, look. I'm only a streamer that has streamed for like 2 years. Okay. I feel like I'm close to it. Just hang on. There's a picture of his Instagram. I don't really want to see that. I don't care about that. Doodle-doo-doo-doo-doo. Okay, I might not be able to find it here. I tried to just search. Here we go. There's one post. Okay, so this post says, I had stumbled upon Jake not always disclosing that only 10% of the charity's clothing profits goes to the charity. Holy shit. It's not mentioned on the website nor in the item pages or during checkout that it's only 10%. That's interesting, isn't it? I ran a full YouTube video transcript, video description and community post search alongside an Instagram search for anything related to Never Stop Clothing or 10%. This was done on all his YouTube channels, on his own and his charity's Instagram page. In case he doesn't mention he personally may, it's regarded as disclosed. When he doesn't mention it all or even claims all proceeds benefit those in need, it's obviously seen as undisclosed. Wow, look at that. So 25 million views. Wow, that is shocking. So he doesn't disclose in 212 videos that it's only 10% of the clothing that fund that goes to charity. So like Damon Hat, who doesn't use dark mode on Reddit, Twitch and YouTube. I do have dark mode on. I don't know why. Look, it's dark mode on YouTube. I don't know why Reddit is on light mode. Interesting. That's interesting. Isn't it? Okay, so here's one about the post. There's been loads of posts about it. And the thing is that, again, if you don't know, so like here's another inside joke from the podcast. They did a trading card merch thing, and you could buy H3 trading cards, and all the money out of that went to the crew. And so you got different ones in different packs, and in in both packs, you had an opportunity to get this special card, which was an Ethan Klein credit card. And the joke is that Ethan accidentally showed his credit card on one of the members' live streams one time. So like it's all, oh my God, that's so cool. Guess who? Oh, that's funny. I wish I owned that. Okay, look. My opinion on lupus jokes as a lupus warrior. This is actually going to be interesting. As someone who has suffered for 6 years that I know of, I'm not offended by the lupus jokes in any way. For me, it takes this incredibly scary and serious disease and makes me laugh. From Ethan's skin flare-ups to his weird tooth thing, it's lupus. It makes me and my boyfriend crack up. In some sort of weird way, I'd say Ethan has raised awareness for this shitty autoimmune disease. To be fair, I genuinely didn't know it was a real disease, or I did know it was real, but I didn't think it was like serious, because I only ever heard of it from the show House being like, it's never lupus. I appreciate the defense, but us lupus warriors aren't for the weak. The jokes aren't offensive. That's really nice. And the second picture is the candle my mom makes for lupus awareness. Ooh, that is so pretty. If you've read this, thank you for reading. Sorry, some guy without lupus said I was supposed to be angry on your behalf, so I can't listen to what you have to say. Oh, that makes me laugh. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, no points that I want to bring up there. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to find the original post with all the messages on it. But it's context that you need to know here is that the H3 podcast goes on break for Christmas. Not Jake putting experiences with lupus title. They go on break for Christmas, and they go on break for now in summer. They've added a new one in summer, and the Christmas break is like 3 weeks, so they're not going to be back, I don't think, till next week. And so like everyone was kind of pointing out it was a bit shady that he waited until the podcast went on break to drop his video, so that there could be no response. I just don't know if I want them to respond now. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was watching the video and I was getting really mad about it, and then I was like, because I just think it was really, really weird. Sorry, I'm just mistaken by that title. Eating things edging is worse than scat. I remember that conversation. I don't think he knows what edging is. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of want them to reply to it, and I also kind of want them to ignore it. So anyway, yeah, I can't find the original post. But ooh, here we go. Oh, that's no. comments on that. But yeah, I think that I would be mad if someone claimed that I was making false claims and making money from it and then like admitted that I lied about it. Like there's one thing to say you potentially thought you had lupus and then you were getting investigated for it, and then people as a joke decided to donate to your lupus fund, and then you said, look, I don't actually think I have lupus, I think it might be something else. There's a big difference between that and saying you lied about having lupus, you solicited donations, you profited off it, and then you said you made it all up. There's a big difference. This is actually really good. So Ryan Beard is another YouTube creator that I follow and that I watch, and he's another commentary YouTuber, and he is very good. And so he actually commented on this video when it went up live, and it was deleted, apparently. Allegedly. He alleges it was deleted. So he tweeted it then. He said, my response to Jake Dolittle's video attacking H3 prefers health anxiety. From what I can see, it seems that Ethan is a hypochondriac and is using humour to cope with his hypochondria. I also suffer from hypochondria, and it would really suck to have someone make a video like this attacking me if I vented about my health anxiety on the internet. All of your criticisms that Ethan doesn't know what he's talking about are common with health anxiety because you spend hours scouring the internet for possible diagnoses and come to irrational conclusions about your health. That's why health anxiety is classified as a mental disorder. I agree with you that sometimes people can accidentally cause harm while venting about their health anxiety, but it doesn't seem like you're showing any empathy or consideration for the very real distress that health anxiety can cause. I understand if you have a history of chronic illness, but if you don't have a history with health anxiety, it's unlikely that you can truly empathize with what Ethan is going through, which I think is causing you to have a very biased take on what Ethan is experiencing and assuming bad intentions when it doesn't seem to me like Ethan has any malicious intent. In the future, this is such a burn, I recommend trying to have a much more nuanced approach when discussing people experiencing health anxiety. So there you go. Even other commentary YouTubers aren't on his side. And yeah, so this is an old screenshot. I think I watched a more recent video talking about this, and the dislike count is at the same as the like count. Oh yeah, so some people are saying that Jake's video, he said, don't you think if I know this is straying away from topic, but what does your mom have? Don't you think if autoimmune disease runs in your family and your mom has ulcerative colitis, you would at least know how to pronounce it? And so people are like, are you saying that just because he can't pronounce it, he's lying about his mother having ulcerative colitis? Oh God, that's funny. So yeah, here we go. Here's the post. Was that only 5 days ago? Fuck, Twix must really, I lose track of time. I'll quickly catch up with the chats. Calling him an insufferable twat is an insult to real insufferable twats. And YouTube. There's a difference between wishing someone well and telling them they're not ill. Yes, agreed. Okay. Yeah. So someone, you can't collapse comments in desktop, for fuck's sake. Someone wrote like a comment, I think, summating it. Oh, so this person also accused him of deleting their comment, and he said, Jake waved away there was a legitimate chance of being some type of lupus, which I think he did. claiming it was all Ethan, while he also shared where he got the lupus diagnosis from, being that the first illness he was actually given. Not getting that the point was never lupus or any of the other, but instead being Ethan is hypochondria. Dragging innocent and unknowing lupus patients into this. Yeah, so at the end of the video, which I didn't watch, he gets lupus patients who let me fix this for a second. God damn it. He gets lupus patients, which he blurs out, to come on the video and say how offended they are, but they're not fans of the podcast, so they're watching clips without any context, and then they're saying this hurt my feelings. Like, I don't know. I mean, I think if you were to worry about that, you could never joke about anything. Do you know what I'm saying? Elisa, thank you for redeeming Hydrate. I had been forgetting. So
times I'd gone to the dermatologist.
Oh, voice changer,
no
really?
Out. And then in July of 2019, I went to the ER because I was having.
That seems crazy. So one person, and then is there a second person, or is this?
I was really tired all the time. I started running, fevers on and off. Just no.
Seems to be the second person, but are they actually saying they're offended?
I had anemia. Oh, and all my joints hurt. I had a really, really high heart rate too. They did $1 a month. And I was on that for like 2 years.
After I asked these people to share their stories, I sent them a compilation of all the claims that Ethan made.
Edited in the way you've been editing stuff? Like cutting out... I don't know what you're cutting out, but like you've edited the clips so that they're actually jumpy.
Lupus-wise, here are some of their thoughts. I can understand that he's going through a lot right now, and it's scary to know that something's wrong with you, but he really leaned headfirst into the lupus thing when there was no evidence really pointing to it. It's just really frustrating to me that he decided that...
Ooh, that's very interesting. So after he got them on camera to say what their lupus symptoms were, or what their lupus experiences were, he didn't get them on camera saying the jokes were offensive. So he's just reading out their quotes, is it?
That he most likely had lupus and then told everyone before he had actually seen the rheumatologist who told him it was not lupus. I just wish that he would have waited for an actual diagnosis to talk about things and wait for things to be ruled out. It feels really invalidating the way he talks about lupus. Like, to him, it's just not that serious. I get that maybe in the background he was really sorting through all his emotions, but from the clips that I...
You know, these quotes that he's reading out that are allegedly from lupus sufferers that for some reason wouldn't say it on camera are more nuanced than his whole take. They're like, look, I get that he was behind the scenes, but it's just not a funny joke, which is fine. Like, you can say it's not a funny joke, but that's not what Jake is saying. Jake is saying he lied on purpose, he fucking profited off it, and then he admitted that he lied, which is not what fucking happened.
Like a slap in the face.
Insensitivity is not the same thing as being a shyster.
Here's what another person said. You can have lupus and continue to test negative for it. It is a constant struggle for some of my friends with lupus, but you have to have symptoms to even be diagnosed with or without a...
Yeah, but he's had fucking symptoms. That's the whole fucking point of the fucking conversation fucking came out of, is that he did have symptoms and they were testing for it. God.
Positive test. Inflammation does not automatically equal lupus or any specific autoimmune disease. This whole situation made me so angry I could not even put it into words, especially when people with chronic illness are already fighting so hard every single day to just exist. Now people are shitting on it. Another person wrote back.
I mean, fair enough. If that's how someone feels, that's how someone feels. But they're not fans of the podcast. They were presented a compilation of edited clips, edited together in a fucking jump cut format with all the context removed. And for some reason wouldn't say this stuff on camera. They just emailed it to you so you could read it out. Sure. I believe you. Millions wouldn't.
So in that case, I would say the AI was spot on.
Final words.
So I guess that's it. I have spent 4 months gathering information on Ethan and his claims. If all
Oh my
else
God, you
fails,
need
I
to
hope
get
that
a
at least
fucking
one
life.
person after watching this video understands a little bit more about lupus, chronic illness, why it's insane to make claims like this. And for anybody who's actively struggling with lupus or chronic illness who needs financial help, my nonprofit, Never Stop, will be in the description below and you can apply there. Also, if you feel like it, you can donate to the Never Stop Fund. 10% of all profits from the clothing brand go into the fund, so either way, you're helping people out. Again, this video had no ulterior motives. My goal was to share these claims.
He acknowledged the 10% there thing. So it's a fund and you can donate, but if you buy the clothes, 10% of the clothes goes to the thing. So he did, to be fair to him, he said the 10% thing there.
And how insane I thought they were and other people in the community thought they were.
Okay, whatever. This is... Anyway, so that's the story. And that's what's been taking up all my Reddit time over Twixmas, which I only found out recently it's called Twixmas. And yeah, it's I know it's bananas. It's crazy. It's obvious Jake is reading off cue cards or a script. Wonder who wrote it. Well, I'd say he wrote it. Like, I'll give him that benefit of the doubt. I'd say he wrote it. This guy is approaching the analysis of H3 history and the lupus discussion as if he's trying to find out who killed Kennedy. I'm unemployed and can't imagine having that much free time. Listen, like, this is his full-time job, so but it is crazy that he's been following it for 4 months, like, and not figured out in those 4 months it was a fucking joke. Is this guy a doctor or an expert? No, but yet his opinion seems to be so much more valid than doctors and experts, because doctors were investigating him for lupus or testing him, whatever you put it, and but Jake is like, no, sorry, I know you don't have lupus. This guy cherry picks everything. Yeah, agreed. Who cares what this dork thinks? Seriously. Saladin, how do we know these people even have lupus? I mean, I would assume that they do, but they never said on camera that they were offended by it. 2 people talked about their lupus experiences on camera and got blurred out. And then he read off an unattributed anonymous quote from, I think there was 3 different quotes there in the bit that we watched. So, like, I don't know what I'm supposed to fucking take from that. Clizzer, lupus scandal 2024. So yeah, so that's all the crack. Finally, someone who throws around the F-bomb as much as I do. Yeah, I'm Irish. Sorry, that's just my thing. Well, not my thing. It's Irish people's thing.